Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are checking out ITZY's Not Shy album, the last 4 tracks that I have listened to so far. So we've checked out Not Shy and Be in Love, which are like the beginning and the end of this album. So excited to see what else we're going to get sonically, because there's a huge range there in terms of like sonically what they were trying to go for with Not Shy and Be in Love. So filling in the gap of what we're going to get, and 4 whole ITZY songs for me to enjoy. That's always a good day. First song, Don't Give a What, which is already quite a way to start off on this video. I can get a vibe of what this song might be like lyrically, so let's just let them have their moment. Right. Ooh. Ooh. Is this what we got at the end of Not Shy? The music video? Wait, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to interrupt your moment and your note. I love this sound coming through. Like guitars, more of a bit of that pop rock sound, which I love anyway. But I think that it fits with like the vibe, right? A little bit of that rebellious edge to their sound. Whenever they put the blah 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 into it, love it. Because I feel like it just brings together a bunch of their songs. Nothing you have to say is important to me. And the descending note of that, so good. Interesting melodies. Oh, beautiful softening out of the vocals. Before we go into it, I love the softening out of the vocals there, telling me it's Leah here. Whether or not it is, I don't know. Okay, lyric videos are what they are. I can only do so much in like hearing everybody be able to pick out voices. But I love that softening out after that belting at the beginning of that line, and then softens into that beautiful, like airy, light voice. Gorgeous. And just the way that they're choosing all these melodies, like some of them are off kilter, dark, and then like the next one will be like a really fun, energetic kind of delivery. So I think that having those like back and forth, very like drastic shifts is really interesting. It leads into what they're talking about in the lyrics of, we're just gonna do what we want, we're not gonna worry about what anyone else says, we're just gonna be ourselves. That means like all these kind of different facets of them, right? It's gonna be all these different parts of their voices, different characters that they can bring forward in terms of their performance. If it rubs somebody the wrong way, not their problem, right? So fun. Whoa. Love that stutter. Whoa. Okay, first off, I love that the chorus has this almost like anthem feeling to it, right? Of just like, it comes out of that kind of darker sound that we got in the verses into something that feels very like celebratory. Love the kind of glitching we're getting in some of the vocal deliveries. And just the what? Like the attitude is so fun. And also those the la-la-las, right? I feel like the way that they're choosing like the cadence for that is just so ITZY. I don't even know how to describe what their sound is. I just know it when I hear it. And I hope that everyone's on the same page with me. There's just something distinct about their sound and the way that they choose like certain cadences that I feel like those like la la's just like fit into that pocket so perfectly. I love that so much. Also this cowbell. I love the layered vocals on the I don't give a what. I think it's like the synths in the production also add to the ITZY sound. I'm sorry, but like, are you not a criminal? Because I saw the wanted posters. But I love that like glitch, that stutter on the love me, right? I think that's so fun having this little stutter in it. I think that it adds a little bit of character, a little bit of interest to the overall song, but also a little bit of fun, right? Like it's a little bit not taking it entirely seriously. It's a little bit of having that little like joking edge to some of their music, which I think fits so much with what their music is into the kind of persona of what ITZY is as a group, but also fits into the meaning of the song of I don't care what people say. Like this whole thing is a joke if you think that you passing judgment on me and trying to decide who I'm supposed to be or like how I'm supposed to represent myself, that's a joke. That's ridiculous, right? I'm just going to almost make light of it, right? By making jokes. I think that's so fun. I also love the pickup in some of the deliveries that we're getting from Digin in comparison to some of the other like vocals, like the way that she speeds up some of the pacing and it contrasts really well with some of the other members. I love those heavy horns. I like the pow pow. It's so cute. This part though, gorgeous. I love the whoa, whoa, whoa. Like it's almost like a siren. We have like the criminal imagery, wanted imagery. Whoa. Gorgeous little falsetto there. Wait. I love the filter on that strike a pose. And it's like the delivery of it is like a little bit clipped, but then you also have the filter on the vocals. You also have a little, again, a bit of that like stutter on it. They're so cute. And I love the no drama. Like that, again, it's kind of like making jokes, making light of it, right? Of being like, you can make this into a whole thing. I'm not taking it seriously. All of these things that you're saying, I'm just laughing and carrying on with my life. Even though, again, those la la las are like living in your own world and not being affected by all of the things that are going on. Going by the beat of your own drum and you're just like, all right, you can be upset, but I'm over here having fun. See? Ooh. Again, the vocal slide with the guitar. Whoa. Hang on. I love how the filter makes that vocal blend in with the guitar. The ad-lib too. That's so fun. Like, again, I feel like it fits so well into that pocket of what ITZY's music is. Sonically, it's super fun. I love that we have the darker sound in a bunch of the verses in comparison to, again, this really like brighter, more open sound in the chorus that feels more celebratory. And I love even playing off of the like I don't give a what, like some of it is delivered in this censoring themselves, and then in other times it's like an actual question of what are you even talking about, which I think fits so well with the kind of blah 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 of you just keep saying things, you're saying all these judgments that are like it doesn't affect me in any way, so I'm not even paying attention. So it's like what was your critique again? Who are you? I think that fits so well into what they're doing, right? Like they're just living their life, they're having fun, they're being true to themselves and like what they want their sound to be. Like I say, adding in those elements that feel so characteristically like ITZY, I think lean into that as well. Like the story that they're telling of having the song that just has whatever that is, that ITZY thing that is in a bunch of their music, and it contrasts with a bunch of the other parts of the song, right? There's so many different like elements that are blended together and different like, sounds that we're shifting into, that it all comes together into a sound that is very ITZY. So maybe you don't like that, but at least it's true to who we are. And who are you again? And what was your critique? And like, why do you think I'm listening? So much fun. I also love that it's like at the end where it's, hey, you can sit there and you can complain and I can continue to not listen, or we can just have fun and dance together. That's an option too. You could be having fun. I'm just saying. I think it's so fun. It's such a good way for me to start off this video. Louder, which I think at the middle of this album, having a song like that feels like we're going to bring up the energy again, which I don't know how we can do that considering we started this album running right at the gate with Not Shy, which I think is like the whole point, right? It's like this whole album is about them taking up space unashamedly, which has always been their vibe, but it feels like we're leaning into it a lot more. So I'm excited to see what direction we go in lyrically, at least with Louder. No idea what it's going to be sonically. I don't pretend to know which direction they're going to take me in, but I know I'm probably going to enjoy it. Yeah. Ooh, with the like marching drums. Wait, okay. First off, the way we start with these like marching drums and then it pulls back on some of the like bassier elements of the production, like the fact that it hasn't gotten louder yet makes me brace a little bit for what the chorus is going to be, but it has one of my favorite things that ITZY has ever done, which is the mwah. Anyone who's seen my kiss and tell reaction knows how I feel about that mwah. They're doing it here again, and it makes me instantly happy, especially since it's like the cheekiness of that, of being like, I know you love me, and even if you don't, like sending you nothing but like peace and love, but also get out of my way. Even though this is definitely not a joke, I think that's super interesting off of what I was talking about in the previous song, where it feels a lot of their music is this cheekiness, this not taking things super seriously, not letting things get under their skin in any serious way. They're just like having fun with it. Whereas this is almost them being like, hey, my talent isn't the joke though, right? Like I'm not the joke. The joke doesn't have anything to do with like my capabilities as a performer. It's about the fact that you're saying all of these things and it's so ridiculous that I can only interpret it as a joke, right? There's a difference between those two things. Already loving it. Again, bracing for what this chorus is going to be. You're like, what are you afraid of? Mwah. Ooh, I love that. Again, I like la la la's, but I can easily see what's real or fake, right? Like I can instantly figure out when someone is pretending and when they're not. And I think it's interesting. We talk about you won't be able to hide your feelings in the end. If, like I was saying, the what are you afraid of? And then we have the mwah, right? Like this idea of what are you afraid of actually enjoying yourself, of actually enjoying my music, of actually thinking that I'm pretty good at what I do. If you actually listen to what we're singing about and pay attention to what we're doing, right? Because I feel like so many people, when they're like giving some kind of like negative comment or something on anything really, I'm like, I'll see the comment and then I'll look at what they're actually talking about. I'm like, do we watch the same thing? Are we looking at the same thing right now? Because that's not, huh? And it's because the person just wants to be negative, right? They don't actually pay attention to what someone is like actually talking about, or actually like listening to what like the song is, right? Like they've already decided that they don't like it. So I think it's really interesting that it seems like they're playing off of that a little bit to be like, hey, if you actually like listen, pay attention, what are you afraid of? That you might actually like it? That you might actually find something that you connect with? And then you won't be able to hide what you're feeling. The difference between real and fake of art, do you actually have a real critique of what I'm doing? Or do you just want to be mad? Do you just want to take it out on somebody? And I happen to be around. Really interesting, sonically. Ooh, okay. I love that, like, be yourself. Ooh. Whoa. I love that even this is called louder. Again, it's pulling out some of those bassier elements that we've had in other songs because it's about like the voices, right? It's about talking and sharing your piece, right? Talking about even show your passion, right? Of being, I want you to be louder about who you are, right? I want you to be louder what truly is going to make you happy. I think this does go off what I was talking about of even getting like negativity from people is a lot of the times because there's something going on with them, right? There's something that is angering them, frustrating them. Like I said, they want to take it out on somebody and someone like ITZY or any other person in the public eye happens to be in their view. So they just throw it at them, even though they're not like the source of why they're angry or frustrated or whatever, right? It's usually something else going on in their life. And it's, hey, if you just did the things that made you happy, right? If you got unstuck, if you figured out what your passions were, if you like leaned into the things that brought you that happiness, you probably wouldn't feel the way that you do now, right? You probably wouldn't be like leaving mean comments on like random videos or posts on the internet. No one who's happy and well-adjusted is doing all of that. I like that it's leaning into that of being like, hey, you can feel all these different things. You can have all these different opinions about me. It's usually because you're projecting something, right? Like it's usually because you're insecure about something. Who cares what other people think? I don't care what other people think. You shouldn't care what other people think. And you should just lean into who you are and like be loud about it. Who cares, right? If you're happy, why does it matter? If you're happy, no one's getting hurt, go for it. The worst that could happen is that people don't like you. People are going to not like you for random things anyway, right? Like people are going to take a look at you and be like, not that person. If they're going to not like you for nothing, at least give them something to talk about. Hey, why not? And I love that it pulls back some of that. And we have all these layered like group shout vocals. And I think that really leans into it, that it's like kind of like loud and joined together and who cares? Just be yourself. I think we have the like elevator sound too, which is very like ITZY too. Ooh, I love the nobody will notice it in the end if you keep this up. So, okay, we have all the repetition, which is really fun, but I think it's so interesting to say that of, yeah, in the end, who cares, right? Even if people do notice you, okay, if they like judge you, fine. But like also if you lead into the things that you love, that you're passionate about, that bring you joy, the people who also vibe with that are going to find you, right? Like I think that's one of the interesting things about the same way that like negativity can be infectious, right? Everyone gets pulled into some of that. So is like joy and happiness. And there are lots of times where I'm like, I don't understand why you're so happy about this, but I love that you love this. Every time my dad is, I'm going to give you a very detailed account of what happened in this baseball game. I'm like, I have no idea. I have no passion for baseball. Don't know how it works, no knowledge to work with, but I like that he's so happy about it, right? Like it makes me happy to see him happy. And I think that it's the same thing in so many ways of like, at the end of the day, the people who like the things that you're making, the stuff that you're creating, the person that you truly authentically are, that's going to draw people to you. And then the only way that you're actually going to be noticed is in like a positive way, right? All that negativity is going to get drowned out by the fact that there are people who are just like vibing with what you have to make, right? So good. I love this like middle of the album too. Whoa, there's the bass. Oh my gosh. Okay, I love the so like if you get rejected, it's like skip, right? Skip over the what ifs. Skip over the like this could happen. Skip over the possibility of it turning out any other way and just give it a try. And it's give it a try with the arrogance of there's 100% chance you'll succeed and being like, I like that attitude. I enjoy that more. That's so much better. I think that's such a fun way to spin it of being like, it's what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? That like question that helps you kind of figure out what truly kind of drives you, right? And I say this as someone who has a lot of anxiety, okay? Don't tell me to think of the worst case scenario. I can catastrophize with the best of them. But also, sometimes it's like I can't do anything to change what might happen. So I might as well just try, right? If I don't try, I have 100% chance of failing. Or I could try, and there's a chance that I won't fail, right? Because doing nothing, I think, is a failure, right? If it's like something that you really want, right? If it's something that truly moves you, it's so much worse. There's 100% chance of you not getting it because you didn't even bother to try than if you did. And I like that being like, I like the attitude, the arrogance that people are going to throw at you of saying like, you're arrogant or you're too loud or like, why are you doing that? Why are you being weird? Why are you being different? And it's, I like the arrogance or like the attitude of that so much better because at least you're being authentic to yourself. I like the little like laugh at her voice too. It's such a fun beat too. Like that synth. I love that it's getting like a bit of a heavier sound at certain parts. Like I was saying, it felt very like open because you have those like shout vocals. And I'm sure that like in a live setting, it'd be super fun to hear the song. I don't know if they ever performed this live because again, it was in that weird time where live performances weren't really happening. But I think that it would be so fun in a group. I say it for every ITZY song, but they just have the vibe of an anthem or a chant or like the energy that I feel like you would have in a crowd of people at an ITZY concert would be amazing. All that space, and then we're bringing in some more of those like bassier elements to fill in that lower end, like with a Digins part, and then now getting into the bridge. Oh, the layered vocals. I like having the marching drums again. Whoa, there's the bassier sounds. Oh, I liked that too. Like, I like the lyrics of it. I also love that we have some of the bassier elements coming in. I love this idea of this will pass you by if you don't even try it, right? Like I was saying, you can either never try and think what if, or you can just give it your best and see what happens, right? Because there is a chance that you'll succeed, right? What if you do? So I love having that, and I don't want to wait. Trying to encourage, right? Of being like, I want you to stand up straighter. I want you to be louder of the person that you truly are. I don't want to wait around for you to figure it out. It's like sometimes you just need that encouragement to try something, right? You need like that one person who's just, I really want to see you try. right? I really want to see what will happen if you actually give it everything you have. And sometimes that's all you really need to push you just that one step into doing that thing that you've been waffling on, or you've been like too anxious to actually give a try. So I love that. It's just like throw your whole self into it. Who cares? And having all the bass elements coming in, even like the marching drums feels very much, we'll march together. Like isn't something you have to do like entirely on your own. Like we'll have your back. And even having the elevator sound, obviously there's been like some elevator stuff in their like previous music. So it feels like we're bringing that element through, but it's also, it gives me the image of rising above, right? It gives me this image of getting higher up, right? So it's at least give it a try, right? Like at least see what happens. And the worst thing that could happen is like you end up back where you started, but like you won't, because you'll know a little bit more, right? You're gonna learn something along the way. Really love that as like a halfway point, right? Makes me intrigued of what the other songs are going to be on this album, because I know how it ends. So how are we going to wrap all of these ideas up? I don't really know what that's going to be, other than maybe Who Are You? I feel like given the confidence that ITZY has, I feel like they might be like, I'm sorry, who are you? If someone gives them unsolicited feedback, I don't know. Whoa. All right. That's a... Okay. Wait, I love that in Rija's part leading into this, the like lazy fall off at the end of the line. This is so ITZY coded, like the production of this, which is definitely something that like they've had in previous parts, like songs and stuff too as well. But I feel like there's something specific about the groove of this that I'm like, that's an ITZY song. And I love that they have that. I love that I've gotten to the point where I've heard enough of their songs. There's a certain vibe to their songs that just fits. Even though they can be drastically different, like what they're doing sonically, there's something about it. You know what I mean? But I love this, like, I can't get your attention, because we start with Not Shy, right? So this idea of being like, hey, I'm not shy to express the fact that I'm interested. And it's, I'm sorry, are you leaving me on red? What's that about? Hang on a second. Wait. Whoa. Whoa, wait, the like pose of their voice, but like the way that we changed up the vibe, like I love how this has like such a groove to it. Like it has this like strut vibe to it, which I think fits with the confidence of the group, fits with the confidence of this. I'm sorry, did you leave me on red? Are you like, where are you at? What's happening right now? Stop acting like you don't care, because I know that you're interested. Having this kind of like strut feeling to it is so good. I love that melody there. Beautiful flip up. Whoa. Wait, I know I'm interrupting, but that descending down melody, that was beautiful. Wow, was that Leah? Whoa. Wait. No, I'm listening to the chorus again, because that like descending, I think it might have been Leah like at the top top of that melody, like descending all the way down in a little bit of a cry before going into her own like part that she was singing. Beautifully done. And then Chaeyoung had a gorgeous part where she was like belting out her voice, and it's so good. Love the melodies that we're choosing for the vocals with this really heavy beat coming in and like some fun like synths that are going over top. Do we have a cowbell again? Because that, it would just be, it would make me so happy, because we had that already on this album, and I don't know why we're putting that in. We went for a bit of a Wild West vibe for the Not Shy music video, so maybe we're just leading into it. But I love the groove and that like repetition of the like ID, like the way that they elongate that vowel, right? I think is really fun. There's this kind of like elastic feeling to the melody. Beautifully sung. Might just be like a tinny instrument. Whoa. Wait. First off, called it with the strut, and they're like runway. Beautiful. I need Ryujin to like not have vocals like that personally. Like the way that it's like they're distorting some of the vocals, right? Like it's not that they have post like all of the time. It's like they're choosing when to put post at certain parts of the phrases in the melodies. It's not consistent across all of them. And I think that's so interesting that they're really playing around with what that post is going to sound like. It's not like one thing or the other, and it's just like scattered throughout to add this like interest. But I think it's also like showing this like warping of being like, hey, who are you? Why are you not? Like, where are you at? Why are you pretending like you're not interested? When I've said my piece, I know what a catch I am. So like, why are we playing these games? Warping of, hang on a second, I thought we were on the same page. What's going on here? So I think it's fun to have that like little bit of this like distortion on the vocal. That cadence? No. With the vocals? So good in the back. Whoa, that like breath. Wait, before we get into it, I love the I'm interested in you, and it's like the shock, right? It's super cute. But then the I had another thought that was also in there. There's so much going on that I feel like my brain can't keep up. The like it's cute. I hope that like maybe it's just nerves. I love that descending note. Whoa, before y'all like slow it down for the bridge. But I love how much they're playing around that kind of like bungee feeling, right? Having that kind of feeling where they're drawing out like part of the phrase, and then there's flip ups, but then also sometimes they just hit the sound more, which I say with the ID, right? Because the I elongating that out, and then D is like a much like harder sounding word. So I love that they're playing around with that. And I think that kind of shows some of what they're talking about in the song too, of this kind of like back and forth of, so what are we doing? Like, I'm showing interest, clearly. And if I'm showing interest, you should be jumping at the chance. What's happening right now? So I think having that kind of like back and forth, even in the melodies, where it feels like a little bit of a roller coaster. I don't even know what's going on right now. Like, why are we playing games? Because I know who I am. This is my runway. I'm showing interest in you. Why aren't you calling me back? What's happening right now? I think that it fits so well with that, like the vibe of the song, and it's just bops. Like the production on this is so much fun. I love the percussion on it. It just has such a fun groove to the whole thing. Beautiful light sound. Ooh, that vocal. I can't with Leah on this song. She's so cute. Let's go, ad-libs. Look, clap. I mean, so good. It feels so ITZY. Like the whole thing, all of the production, all of the fun vocal melodies in it, the attitude and their delivery with these fun ad-libs mixed in with it as well. And I love that it's this idea of using ID like identification, but it's also like you're showing interest in someone, but it's almost like a interrogation in some ways, right? Like it's definitely from this place of like they know who they are, they have their confidence, they're not gonna be like tripping over themselves, being all like flustered or something. For someone, no, absolutely not. They know who they are, they know like their kind of like confidence that they have. So it's very like straightforward, very much fitting in line with what Not Shy was talking about. Like the whole album it's called Not Shy, but what they were talking about, that song of I'm not shy, I'm gonna say what I'm interested. If I'm interested, I'm just gonna say it, and I'm just gonna express how I'm feeling. So this is just like them being like very straightforward, direct of, hey, I would like to see name, birthday, favorite color. I would like to have a full contact sheet just in case. I think that using something like ID shifts into something that feels a little bit more like an interrogation, a little bit more from like this place of authority than just be like, it would be nice to know your name or whatever. And I think even having the hey is like a very kind of straightforward, knows what they're after and is like grabbing attention, right? Super fun with the vocal melodies. I love the way that they were just like doing all these different like flips and stuff, different like post on certain parts that just made it super fun. And the production, so good on that. Like the way that chorus just like crashes in, loved it. Last one, Surf. I don't even know where we're gonna go with this because we've gone rock with I don't give a what. We had whatever was going on with Louder, right? Whatever was going on with production with that one. And then the last one was like just such a like fun dance beat kind of thing. And I know how we're ending with a much softer sounding, nostalgic kind of song. So Surf could be anything. All right. Y'all said range. Beautiful flip up there. Wait. I love that this is like a fun, kind of like funky guitar, but it's got all these crazy things going on, heavy on the percussion side, beautiful vocals that are happening, I'll give in. But I love that we have these like flip ups, these like lightening up at certain points. Gorgeous. And I feel like maybe like Surf is fallen into the sea. So like maybe we're talking about, hey, I feel like I'm like lost at sea a little bit in what I'm feeling, or I didn't know that suddenly I was stuck in feeling something or something going on, and now I feel a little bit adrift, right? Like I feel like I'm going along with the waves. Whoa. Beautiful slow down. Oh, I love that little vocal run. Whoa, okay, I love that this has like a throwback vibe to it. Love those high like surf, like the little vocal run of that is beautiful. I love this idea of this is not like me and being like trying to control my like how I'm feeling and like keep my composure. Suddenly you're closer and I'm like, dang it. Like I love that idea of getting past kind of the facade, especially since they have such a strong, like I was saying, confident persona to who they are as a group, that talking about someone kind of getting under your skin or someone managing to break through some of that confidence where you're like, don't put me off kilter, don't make me feel like I'm like on a raft. The surf makes me think of that, of being on the like the water where everything like rocks, and you're like, no, that's not what we're doing. I'm confident, I'm in control, I'm totally capable of keeping my composure around everyone, and how dare you. And I think that having that kind of lighter sound that's coming through is that like vulnerability leaking through some of the confident facade. And I think that even having something that has this brighter sound, right, like a bit of a shift in some of the production, right? I feel like they have a darker undercurrent with a lot of their production because it just fits with like the concept that they're going for. But this definitely has more of that kind of floaty, bright sound that I think fits with the kind of vulnerability leaking through of, I feel like I'm falling into something that like I didn't agree to, and suddenly now I'm here and I don't understand how you managed to make me feel like I'm adrift, because that's not how this is supposed to work, right? Love that bass line. Whoa. Wait. Beautiful. And again, I love how sudden that was, of just pulled out a ton of the production and we just have a quieter moment, because that feels like what it is, right? Like they're talking about this feeling of like being totally fine and in control, like I can keep my composure, I can calm myself down, like I've told myself to be cool about it, right? And then suddenly you feel like you're swept up by it, or like you're adrift and like up and down, like the rocking back and forth of riding this wave, right, of feeling something and not really like realizing how far it's gotten and all of that. So I love that even in the way that we're arranging the instrumentation, I think that having a lighter voice, if it's accurate about who's singing what parts, which again, I always give a little bit of leeway, of one would just assume it's a little bit harder for me to pick out falsetto for voices that I'm still getting used to all the different like dynamics of, but having a softer voice for that, if it is Leah specifically, fits really well with that too. Like a much like smoother, gentler voice, I think fits really well in softening everything up, and it feels like the whole song kind of feels lighter and more adrift. I think it fits really well with it. Yeah, almost like you're on like the edge of something, right? Whoa. Even though like we're talking about like up and down could be like also like the emotions, right? I feel like up and down because I'm like, sometimes I'm fine, and then other times you're getting under my skin and I can't keep my composure, and even just the I think I'm falling for you, right? So like the up and down of like being like, no, I'm fine, I'm totally able to keep my cool, totally able to just keep the kind of like mask persona of someone who's very like confident and sure in themselves, and then suddenly like the emotion like hits you and you like can feel yourself like losing some of that composure. So I love this up and down and like feeling like adrift and everything, and having a little bit of a brighter kind of beachy sound with the whole like wave imagery too is really fun. Beautiful little vocal run there. Wait, I don't just like it if it's you. Like, it's like, normally romance, not my thing. Typical kind of romance things, not really what I'm interested in. But if it was you, then like, I wouldn't not like it. It such a goes into what they were saying in the lyrics of I don't want to admit it, being like on this begrudging, being like, fine, I guess I feel this way about you and it's whatever. I think it even goes into Not Shy, and like even the song before this of it being like, hey, I know how I feel. It's one thing to have that initial kind of like attraction to someone or like interest or just like curiosity about someone, and it's another thing where you're just like, you're living your life and the person like smiles. They were talking about like the smile when you smile with your eyes and you're just like, I hate that, I find that very cute. It's different when you feel like you're in control of that situation, right? Like you're like the captain of that ship of like how I feel about everything that's going on. And then it's different when just being near that person makes you have like butterflies in your stomach and you're like, who gave you permission to get under my skin like that? Right? So I like that there's like this current of like begrudgingly being like, fine, I guess you're different. It fits with ITZY's persona so well. Oh, I love the beat on this. Ooh, I love that switch up in the lyrics. Oh, I love that the end there we had the switch up of having, it's obvious, right? It's obvious how I feel. I can't deny it anymore. Everyone else could see it, right? So it's fine. I'm just gonna lean into it then. I'm just gonna accept it, which I think is like a great way to kind of like end off this kind of a song. But I think it also like loops back to this whole like not shy, right? Of I've never been shy to express how I'm feeling. I've never run away from being able to express myself and what I'm thinking and feeling. And I feel like this is them battling with themselves a little bit. And then at the end, they're like, you know what? Everyone can see it. I can see it. Fine, whatever. Again, like a little bit of a begrudging undercurrent, which I think fits really well with ITZY's persona overall. But I also think it leads really well into the ending song, which felt very much in line with like a sentimentality, right? And it felt very much like for fans, especially with the video that they did for it. But I think that it fits really well to get from this like not shy to like sentimentality, to have a little bit of a bridge of going through all of these songs, starting with all these confidence and like the start of the album with the idea of being like, hang on, I'm showing interest. Why am I working for this? Like, why? Hold up. And then going into this one where it's, hang on a minute. Why are you getting under my skin? That's not how this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be the other way around, right? You're supposed to be infatuated with me. And that's how this is supposed to work. Not the other way. What's going on? And then you have the sentimentality at the end, right? Of just like leaning into it, of wanting to like connect with people. And I think it's just like a bit of a softer, like sonically too, to soften out the sounds before we get to the kind of like sentimentality at the end of this album. The songs are so good. I'm going to listen to them so much. I'm so happy to have a bunch of new songs from ITZY to add to my rotation. Such a fun album. I think that it had some great, like, very distinctly ITZY sounds to it, while also playing around with some, like, new concepts, I feel like, lyrically, right? I feel like digging into something that is more, like, romance heavy. Not really. It's not, like, fully leaning into it as I've seen with some other music and, like, K-pop even specifically. So I think that they're not, like, fully, like, full tilt into it. But I think given that this album is dipping its toe a little bit more into the romantic side of things than previous ITZY stuff, I think that it's fun that they're bringing in some of those like softer sounds into certain parts of it, but still keeping in line with the like character of this group, of having that confidence, having some of this like directness, even just going into like Surf where they're like asking all of these questions and they're like, hey, this is making me feel all these different ways. It's like still being like very upfront about these things, right? As opposed to being coy about it or being like, how should I express myself? What should I say? It's very much just hold on, since when were you allowed to smile at me and make me feel flustered? I don't remember agreeing to that. So I think that it's still in line with a bunch of what ITZY is as a group and the identity of the group, which I think is really important if you're going to be introducing any kind of concept in terms of like lyrics into their stuff. I feel like you have to ease into it before you can like lean fully into something like a love song. Not that they haven't touched on those concepts before now, but I think you could only do so much with just the I'm super confident and no one can measure up to me kind of thing. You have to like add in some of those nuances, especially in like the B-sides of everyone has stuff going on, right? Whether or not that's like romance stuff or like people managing to get in your skin, or you can be the most confident person in the world and still have moments of like self-doubt, right? So I think that it's fun that they're having an album like Not Shy and then digging into some of the like other kind of nuances of that as we go through like the B-sides of this album while still staying true to like what ITZY is as a group conceptually. So I think that it was super fun. I can't wait to just listen to these songs all the time. I have so much, even just Not Shy, whenever that comes on and I'm just like, I'm dancing along with it. I have so much fun. So I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click this playlist to go to my previous reactions, or you can subscribe to me next time I post an ITZY reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.